Well, a very warm welcome to the April edition of this month's Market Wrap. As you know, my name's Simon Pintado from the Buxton Real Estate Group. I couldn't resist. I had to come to Walnut Park today to shoot this video. I was supposed to be doing it in the office, but I really couldn't help myself given the beautiful weather that we're having. Let's give you a bit of an insight into what's happened in the marketplace in the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon and East Bentleigh marketplace over the month of April. Well, as expected, the month of April was a little bit quieter than what we did find for the first quarter of this year. That was expected. What we didn't expect was that there was going to be limited amount of stock actually coming onto the market for both May and June as well. So from a buying perspective, there really isn't going to be a whole lot of choice. If you do find a property that you like, I really would urge that you think about what you need to spend for that property in order to secure it and lock it in at today's prices. And I'll talk about interest rates a little bit later on in the video. From a vendor's perspective, it's a really corny way to look at it, but if you're the only girl or guy in a nightclub, obviously you're going to receive a lot of attention. It's exactly the same with property. If you're one of only a few on the market at a particular time, obviously your property is going to be receiving a lot of attention, which is exactly what we found over the month of April. We're averaging 4 to 6 bidders at all of our auctions, albeit a lot less number of properties sold. But certainly a lot of confidence from buyers out there at the moment, knowing that there's not a whole heap of new stock coming onto the market in the next couple of months. Now, normally in this part of the video, I'd be talking to you about sales and results and listings and all of that sort of stuff. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I want to talk to you about what's topical and what I'm hearing amongst vendors and sellers and buyers and things like that in the marketplace at the moment about the changes that are happening to the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area at this stage. The first one being, what sort of impact is the residential changes, be it the growth zones, actually going to have not only on the impact of my property, but also on the streetscape and the landscape of the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area, which is so famous for the big, beautiful Californian bungalows and the big quarter-acre blocks as well. I think I like to take a pretty mutual standpoint for this. I think one, if you're living in the growth zone, there's two ways that you can look at it. The first one is, look, the value of my property has certainly gone up quite a lot in the last 12 to 18 months. Developers in particular are paying quite a bit of money for blocks that are in this growth zone, be it the blue or the brown zone as well. And if you don't know anything about those changes or those zones, please feel free to contact me so I can give you some more information on that. But to give you a bit of an idea what sort of money developers are actually paying for blocks, we did sell a block, or sorry, I should say 3 blocks in Bentleigh just last week. The last record for land per square metre was actually 2,800 per square metre, and we smashed that record, the new record being 3,100 per square metre, selling for $5.8 million. So that's a brand new record for the Bentleigh area. Obviously those blocks are going to be demolished and there will be apartments potentially built there as well, subject to the council approval. But for you as a vendor, if you do live in these growth zones, the way that my vendors are basically looking at it is, Simon, we want to get out now. We don't want to be sitting here while there's going to be apartments built up next to us, and we don't like that the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area, the streetscape I should say, is actually changing. So that's one perspective for you as a potential vendor. The other would be obviously the land value for your own property has certainly gone up in price, albeit you might not like that the changes that are actually happening at the moment. You might not appreciate that, but it's certainly something that's a reality. The government, or the state government I should say, certainly did try to make sure that they kept that zone around the main hubs of public transport, amenities, shops and all of that sort of stuff too. So that's the first topic that I did want to talk to you about. And if you do have any questions or you would like to pick my brain in relation to this topic, please don't hesitate to give me a call. The other thing that I keep hearing out there in the marketplace is, what sort of impact is the change to the railway lines going to have on the value of my property? The short answer is, it's going to increase your value into the future, and I suppose I can't even quantify how much that will be. In the interim, while they're actually doing the works, and they're due to start around mid-2016, hopefully be finished by the end of 2017, they're going to be turning Ormond train station. They're actually going to be going underground there, so North Road will go over the train line. That's certainly going to, well, one, help your travel time to be able to get home a little bit quicker, and obviously transit to Brighton Beach and into the city and things like that. In the interim, it is going to be a little bit frustrating. I would certainly recommend that you avoid trying to sell your property while the construction is going on. In fact, EE gun reserve is actually going to be used for the dumping of all the soil in the meantime too. So if your scope is to potentially sell prior to the end of 2017, I'd perhaps be thinking about either doing it before mid-2016 or perhaps right after all of the works have been done and you've already added some value. Well, hopefully you found that information helpful, you might say. I just wanted to make a little bit of a prediction, and hopefully I'm right next time we're sitting here and doing this video, but I personally think that the RBA is going to be cutting interest rates next Tuesday, and I think they're going to be dropping that 0.25% down to 2%. They have proposed that they do want to have a cash rate of 1.75 by the end of the year, so obviously that's a further 2 cuts between now and Christmas as well. What we found from a market perspective, mortgage brokers and finance brokers have actually seen an increase in terms of people actually applying for home loans as well, which certainly suggests to me that there's going to be a lot more buyers coming into the market between now and the end of the year. So for you as a potential purchaser, that does mean more competition. For you as a vendor, it means more buyers obviously as well. The market is holding up absolutely tremendously well. The Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area, fantastic, and also the East Bentleigh area as well with the Coatesville Primary School zone and all of the works at the primary school also taking form now as well. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching again. I do hope that you found this information useful, you might say, and I do look forward to seeing you at this next video.